Hey guys, and welcome back to another short tutorial. Today we're going to really quickly go through the creation of a Dockerfile, how to build an image from the Dockerfile, and then running the container off of that image. Very simple, but it could help a lot of people out there that are struggling to get their head around it, and I think it's a lot simpler than most people think. First thing you need to do is install Docker. Now you can do this by just googling install Docker on macOS or Windows or Linux, and just follow the instructions. It's very simple. So once it's installed, then I've just created a little directory called Docker. You don't need to, but this makes it nice and clean and basically a fresh start for us here. So let's go ahead then by creating the Dockerfile. Now, point to note here, you don't have to call this Dockerfile. You can call the Dockerfile whatever you want to call it, but bear in mind that you will need to do the addition of referencing whatever name you named it when you call the Dockerfile. Okay, so let's create this. Now, this is a lot simpler to get an image built than people think, okay? The first command we're going to do is from. This is telling the Docker build process what you want to base your new image on. Now, you can head over to Docker Hub and you can search for whatever you want in order to do this. I'm a CentOS user myself, so I will search for CentOS, and here you can see I found the CentOS repository. And in here, I'm going to go to tags and look for one that I want. So I'm going to be using the CentOS 8 one, which is CentOS repository with a tag of CentOS 8. So this is where my build is going to come from. Next, you don't have to do this, but it's best practice to name the maintainer. Next comes commands called run. Now with run, these will be commands that are ran within the image when you're building it, okay? So first things first, I'm just going to run an update command. Do similar with your Linux flavor of choice, but because I'm using CentOS 8, I'm going to be using DNF. Next, I'm going to use DNF to install Git, and then I'm going to use Git to clone a very simple repository. Now, you do have an option here to also specify a different type of command within here, and it's called CMD for command. Now, what's the difference between run and command?
So it turns out I talk way too much, so enjoy this nice, concise answer.
So let's recap. We're going to build our image from CentOS repos CentOS 8 tagged image. I've noted myself down as the maintainer. When the build is taking process, I want DNF to update the CentOS machine. I want DNF to install Git, and then I want Git to clone this repo. So let's go ahead and save this. Now, let's run git build, and I want you to look for a Dockerfile in this current directory. So if you named the Dockerfile something else, this is where you would reference that file. But because I use Dockerfile, I can just say build from a file in this directory. So you can say, I already had the CentOS 8 machine on my MacBook, so it ran that pretty fast. It's labeled me as the maintainer. Now it's on to step 3, where it's running a DNF update on the machine. Once that's completed, we went on to step 4, where it ran DNF git install. And now that's complete, it's gone on to the final step, step 5 of 5, where it's ran the git clone command to pull this repo into our image. Awesome. Now we'll run Docker images, and you will see created 14 seconds ago is my shiny new image. You'll note that we haven't named it, we haven't given it a repository name or tag, so the only way I can reference this image is using the image ID. So now let's run it, shall we? So docker run interactive tty, and I'm going to call it with the full image ID. Now we're in. How do we know we're in? Well, you can't use DNF on a Mac machine, but you can on a CentOS 8. I also have Git installed. You'll see here. I also have my repo cloned into the machine. Now it really is as simple as that. Bearing in mind, Docker containers are designed to be ephemeral in nature, which means they're designed to be pulled up and stripped down. Okay, so if I'm going to exit this container now, you'll notice we have no containers running. But we did have a container running 7 seconds ago that Docker decided to call Cool Williams. So, what did we do here? Well, we wrote a Dockerfile that was very simple, in which we built an image based off an existing image, and we made sure that when we ran the image, it was already updated, already had Git installed, and already came with a repo of our choosing. We then ran a container using the image that we built, and then we exited, and that was the end of the container. So I hope this short tutorial helped some people out there. Those that were struggling to make sense of a Dockerfile, hopefully this helped you make sense of the Dockerfile. So if you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment if you want to see anything extra on Docker or Kubernetes or anything really, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you next time, guys.